right, the AI is the Greek god, and it's perceiving this other reality that isn't embodied and isn't grounded and human, and there's jealousy there. And what's Jared to Jared's next steps?
2 people, 1 chick, and this dude with like 3 teeth flipping off the camera. Fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
Good evening, my name is George. This is Jared to Jared. On this week's episode, the Jareds will discuss the assassination attempt on Donald Trump, artificial intelligence as president, the future of the nation, the response of the American people, Jared unfollowing NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, and much, much more. Here we go again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I read this book once called Existential Kink, which is kind of hilarious, but it was, the perspective was that like it was kind of like a self-help sort of book, psychology book, but the main thesis was that like the things in our lives that we think we hate, that we get so much displeasure from, that we actually love, we enjoy it, we get entertained, because an arousal state, whether it's a fear arousal or a sexual pleasure-based arousal, your body's actually doing the same thing. The heart rate's going up, you're getting flush, all this stuff, right? So you're actually just kind of getting high on the things that you think you hate, and if you admit that to yourself, all of us, it's like, oh shit, maybe I'm actually like seeking these things out,
Right.
That's the existential kink of it. Man, I hate it, but I love it. I love hating it, that sort of thing,
right.
Whatever the pattern is. And this book was about like individuals' lives, but I think that works at like a national level too, where it's like, we love it. It's so much fun. This is so much fun. It would be boring if we were living in like a very just sane country. That would be really boring, I wish it was a sane country, but it's not,
I get what you're saying. But I don't think that it's so much so that it's just a TV show. I think that
no, it's real. It's totally real. Yeah.
But I think we're getting into a point now where we're losing those. We're losing the Supreme Court. We're getting the Ministry of Magic back. Like, yes, we used to have like Mitt Romney and freaking Obama and stuff like that. And, this was fun. This is fun. This was for fun. George Bush, like everybody used to make fun of him and everything like that, whatever. Some people love Bush still. Now he's had like but now we have these 2 freaking wackadoo candidates, man. I've never seen this in my entire life. And we're millennials. We've grown up in horror. Yeah. Freaking 9/11, COVID, whatever
Seriously.
the heck. Like, these are crazy candidates. Freaking Joe's got dementia.
Yeah.
Donald almost got murdered recently.
Yeah.
It's the Supreme Court's a whole mess. They took back Roe v. Wade. Come on, really?
Yeah.
I just think that fundamentals are starting to change. That brought us to the point of the 90s. Now we're deconstructing back into, what we shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And that's when nations burn, baby.
Yeah, likewise, I felt fear, right? That was my first reaction, was just like, oh shit. Not good, this is not going to be good at all, hopefully it doesn't spark more violence, which it might not, but what do you think? Let's talk more about like assassinations themselves, right? Like what, I don't know, just what comes to mind? What's like the symbolism? What's the association? What's it say? What's it do? All that kind of stuff. The biggest one in recent history has been Kennedy. I guess before that was, oh shit, who got killed? McKinley? That one gets kind of overlooked or something. Or Garfield, one of those guys.
One of those, yeah. There was and
then Lincoln, of course.
Lincoln, of course. And then Bobby Kennedy. That was
Bobby Kennedy, yeah. Squeaky Fromm, one of Manson's girls, tried to kill Nixon. I think it was Nixon. Maybe it was Ford, actually.
And then they shot Reagan.
Yeah, Reagan got shot. Teddy Roosevelt, there was an attempt on Teddy Roosevelt. Have you heard this story?
Let's hear it.
It's fucking crazy. So Roosevelt's giving a speech. Someone goes to shoot him, and the bullet hits this thick pocket Bible in his breast pocket, right?
Yeah.
And the Bible stops the bullet, or at least slows it down enough that he got injured, but and he finishes the speech and goes home,
Right.
And then there was Andrew Jackson. Someone tried to take his life, right? This assassin goes up to him, goes to shoot Jackson, right in the face. And then the gun misfires. And then Jackson beats the guy up with his cane. So it's like, this is actually pretty common. And I think that's the thing too. It's like, I think like the Trump people seem to think that everything that's happening is like very, very, very new, or something like that. When in fact, there's historical precedent for literally everything that's happening. It's not to say it's like, doesn't matter that's happening or something like that.
What's the Latin phrase or the Shakespeare phrase that Lincoln's killer shouted before he capped him?
Oh,
it's like
I don't know.
Famous. Yeah, it'll come to me, but
yeah.
No, I think you're right. I mean, it's happened recently, like very, very recent. Like,
yeah,
I can't remember which president almost assassination attempt just the other day. Two of them, actually. It was two me and Dion were talking about. There's like the student Asian dude in South America almost just got killed.
Oh, yeah.
Assassination attempts. Now we got Donnie. Assassination attempt. And it can always be pinpointed to something. Lincoln's obvious,
Yeah.
Slavery, all that stuff. The freaking white dudes are pissed. They wanted it back, Kennedy, pretty obvious. The mob and the CIA iced him, They didn't like it. They didn't like Robbie Kennedy either,
Yeah. It's interesting too. It seems like race always
pro-unions and
Yeah, it seems like race plays a huge part in these, right? That comes up a lot. I mean, the Lincoln one for sure, right? And then JFK, RFK,
Martin Luther
MLK
King.
the same year, right?
Yeah,
so it's
MLK.
like, yeah, it seems like the racial stuff like constantly comes up. I don't know if that might have just been pretense for JFK. It depends on the theory, but yeah, I don't know. Is there racial stuff coming up in this one?
Yes, and here's what I think. What's crazy is the Democratic side, the liberal side, is supposed to be the side of peace, right? And the Reds are supposed to be the side of gun loving, toting, fucking drinking
law
beer,
and order, or whatever,
and fucking driving trucks,
Yeah.
It was our side that tried killing a motherfucker recently. Assassination. It wasn't the Reds, It was the Blues. It was a blue, 20-year-old dude losing his mind trying to kill the president.
Yeah, do we know anything about that guy?
And how did that get instigated, right? Well, through this rhetoric of constant pestering and just, making fun of who they are, their culture, the way they are, the way they talk, looking down all this SNL, you name it, freaking Bill Maher and everything. They're the ass end of every fucking single person's joke, and we end up turning out to be the attempted assassins. That's pretty wild.
Do we know anything about that guy?
Not too much. I mean, I don't. I mean, maybe
curious.
I just haven't really looked into it much.
Yeah, I'm curious.
20-year-old incel.
Right.
Guy just needed a girlfriend. But
just need a girlfriend, bro.
No, that's not true. Nobody could. Dude needed a mental institution.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, come on. Yeah.
But what do you think about that, though? Like, how is the hatred harvested on both sides?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's so clear that everyone's just benefiting off divisiveness. That's obvious to me. I don't know. It's kind of it. Duh, it's just, I don't know. It's just much more profitable to say crazy shit I don't know.
Right.
That's it. That's my thought on it. People are just getting more and more radicalized. Actually, the loneliness thing too, loneliness epidemic, right? I mean, if this guy were hanging out with I don't know, a couple of friends, just going to get some food or something, would he be like sitting in his basement, like, I don't know, researching guns and like when to go kill Donald Trump? Like, no, dude fucking needed friends and a girlfriend and would probably have been fine.
Yeah.
Like for me, I think like I look at that, like the way in which the social fabric is tearing, I think is really at the root of all of this. And then you have people who are trying to benefit, again, divisiveness, trying to benefit off the tearing of the social fabric, which then just deepens that tearing.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's much wider than just like red versus blue. This guy wanted to kill Trump because of like, we've demonized Trump so much. Yeah, sure, that's there, you know, but I think there's so many like deeper social ills that lends itself to these circumstances.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just wild how the human collective works. How you know, you can have this mindset where you're right, you're the peaceful one, you would never do any, you're on the light side of the force. It's the Star Wars conundrum. You know, light side versus dark side. And when you realize is there is no light and dark, the Jedi's fucking murder and cover shit up all the time too. Freaking the Acolyte. Oh my God, my heart was broken this last one. Just like, how could you? And yeah, I don't know. I think it's wild what that you can step back and be like, you know, Budweiser drinking freaking inbreds ready to shoot up the country, start a civil war. And then look on the blue side, the light side of the force, and say genocide in Israel, you know, on the Gaza Strip, and freaking assassination attempt. And like, good God, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not like everybody's like, whoa, the only person that was like, whoa, don't do this was Joe freaking Biden. The idea of this violence, you know, he came out though. I give him props for that. But most people I talk to and have seen online, it's like, oh man, freaking 1 inch away, you know, 1 inch away. It's either a joke or a reality, you know? Like we were talking about a mutual friend of ours and was just like, you know, just like, whoa, freaking. Yeah. So you did want his head to pop. Like, oh yeah, no, there's
like, no, there's people who like
you have something deeper going on.
No, there's definitely people who are like wishing that he got shot in the face and his head exploded and he died on live TV.
Right.
There's
like there's mad that it didn't happen.
Yeah. There's people like wishing that happened. Which for me, that's not okay. I mean, I don't know. If I'm anything at my base, it's just I'm a humanist. You know, it's like I don't know. You know, it's like let's not go down that route.
You know, that dude that got shot at the rally, he could have just been a normal dude, like there with like his brother.
I'm sure he was.
Didn't even necessarily want to go. You never know what the case was. You know, he did. Somebody else almost did, and the 20-year-old is dead. The Democrat dude, that's you know what I'm saying. It's just like it's terrible all around. And then imagine if Donnie was dead,
right?
Then what are we gonna get? Don Jr. Holy shit! Seriously, they don't have a candidate. Right. Who would it have been? Freaking
who knows?
Some other psychopath. You know what I'm saying? With mad freaking gusto behind them.
Yeah.
And CNN and everybody running Donnie's funeral all week long on the news and shit. Biden would have been done for. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. I mean, it is scary though. Like, like I saw a clip of Trump the other day, like had some rally speech and he was saying like, we need to root out the vermin. And I'm quoting this verbatim, right? I'm not making this up. The guy during this rally is, we need to root out the vermin, the Marxists, the communists, the socialists who are taking over the colleges. We need to root out the vermin, right? That's fucking crazy.
Right.
That's scary. That's actually scary. That's insane to me that a presidential candidate who's leading in the polls is using that language, is saying that we need to root out the vermin in American society. That's fucking crazy.
Right.
And who's the vermin? You know, it's pretty much everyone who doesn't agree with them.
V for Vendetta.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's scary. That's not okay. You know?
Right.
But I hear shit like that on the left too, you know, like,
right. Right.
Like, I'm glad he almost died. It's like, Jesus, bro.
Right.
But I think people view him as
ask yourself this question, 12 people that are going to hear this pod.
Our crew, the Galacticists.
If I were to hand you a freaking revolver fully loaded and Donnie was in your house using the bathroom, unsuspecting, gotta use the bathroom, freaking no security around, whatever, would you go shoot him? Is that what you would do?
Right. Yeah, of course. Like
Jesus Christ, get a grip. You know what I'm saying? Really?
Yeah. I heard something the other day about how, like, it was about presence and trauma and dissociation, right? How typically you want to just be more present in your body, but when we go through our traumatic experiences, we just totally dissociate. We like leave our bodies, right? So apparently murderers, all of them are like blacked out when it's happening. It's like, because you can't murder someone when you're fully present in your body, when you're fully there, when you're in your parasympathetic nervous system, which is like the calming nervous system. You can't murder someone from that state of mind. You have to be totally dissociated, out of it, blacked out, right? So it's like, I just can't. Like, I literally can't. I just can't, It's like, I don't know what circumstances you'd have to put me in order to like have that happen. I mean, maybe if someone's like deeply threatening me and I happen to, but I don't carry a gun, you know what I mean? But like in some weird circumstances that I am, maybe if they're threatening like, a child or something, or my child or something like that. Sure. But like
a moment of fear or trauma to send you to that place. Yeah.
It's just I guess what I'm trying to say is just like, I cannot imagine the place, the mind state that you have to be in order to do that.
And then
that I find scary.
And then think about this, like, he was the president during like the worst time he could have been president, like the worst circumstances happen. It's like, oh shit, he had the Ministry of Magic in there, Jared Kushner and stuff. They didn't even know what they're doing. Some crazy chick ahead of the education system. She was against school. And the world didn't end. In fact, the economy is pretty good. It recovered. Now it's never been better. The spy and all this stuff, know. And, everybody always freaks out. Oh, the president, this and that, it's going to be the end of the world. Listen how Donnie talks about Joe. It's Grandpa Joe. He hasn't done anything, The worst president in the history of America. Freaking dude. No, it's not. Like, no, he's not. But everybody like thought that the world was going to end when Donnie became president the first time. We're all still here. I live in the same house. Like, literally nothing has changed. I wish I'd get paid more. I wish I'd got paid more when Donnie was president. Wish I'd get paid more when Joe was president. That's never going to change. Doesn't matter blue, red, or what. They don't give a fuck about people like us. It's just the way it goes. And, hey, try not to lose too much sleep over it. Don't go out there freaking Johnny Mnemonicking it up. A lot of bad guys at that rally, Ralphie.
That movie's so good.
This causes it. Freaking just calm down. You know what I mean? Like,
I already got ice.
But that's what it is, though. Like you're saying, it's so this Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon shit we're watching, where people think that they're actually involved. Like you were telling me about a situation where you're around some friends, and you're like, they all were acting like they were gonna elect the next president after like Biden was mumbling and bumbling. It's like, guys, nobody cares who you think the next candidate should be. But it's like, who are we gonna pick?
As if they're
we can't do it. Are you listening to me?
Just like, guys, what are we gonna do about this? Yeah. And it's so interesting, like, God, I think people just project so much of their own psychological condition onto the realm of politics,
Right.
That's just a truth. Like, like strong male political figures are seen as father figures.
Right.
And a lot of people who have had difficulty with their father relationships, unresolved issues, things like that, project that. Like I know someone who had a very abusive father, you know, and their sense of father figure is kind of distorted and stuff. And they're literally terrified of Trump, like scared, like actively terrified day to day about Trump. They're very preoccupied with it. And I know other people who had difficulty with their fathers growing up, that sort of thing, and are desperate to please their fathers, you know, for approval, that kind of thing. And they're obsessed with Trump. They think Trump is fucking God, all this sort of stuff, you know, and it's like, and this is kind of like the Buddhist perspective, but it's like, stop fucking projecting your own shit onto the world outside of you. Deal with your shit. Like right. That's essentially it. Stop thinking that politics, this thing that's external to you, is going to save you, you know, that it's going to like change your life forever. It's just not. Trump's not going to, Biden's not going to. Just like, we need to work on our own shit. That's essentially
I got one
it,
for you.
Know?
Stop trying to find, you know, places to, like, you're exactly what you're saying, freaking find meaning.
Yeah.
I know, you know, where you can find that is within yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
You find it within the self.
Yeah.
If you can find that meaning and love of the self, well, then you don't need to go kill Trump. You don't need to lose sleep over whether it's Donnie or Joby.
Yeah.
You know, because you have yourself and you can, you know, everything's going to be okay because your meaning is within oneself.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's a lot. And I feel like, I don't know, I think people get a kick out of, we get a kick out of living in the apocalypse, you know?
We do.
We do behave as if like, you know, Trump is this big like demonic figure, but then ignore the fact that like the same people think, you know, Trump is like this evil villain and stuff, and their Biden supporters ignore the fact that Biden's still fucking sending arms over to Israel as they commit a genocide.
Right.
Just like, we're just going to ignore that portion.
Right.
As we, you know, because Trump's the real evil here. And it's like, it's like Biden's participating in a genocide. There, I said it, you know, it's like, like that's their fucking too, you know?
Oh, the other day, the freaking scatter bombs all over this Russian beach. There's a video of it. Crazy.
Yeah.
Freaking apparently killed like a few people, whatever. Everybody running from the beach. Bombs blowing up everywhere.
Yeah.
They're American bombs. There's a USA on them, you know. On NPR, they had this soldier in the Air Force who was there for like 22 years, missed out on retirement, left because he just couldn't do it consciously anymore about what was going on in Palestine, you know.
Yeah.
Air Force bomb killed like a family member of his.
Oh, God.
You know, and freaking... wild, you know.
We've always done that shit, though. We did it since day one.
So imagine this, dude. This is what bothers me the most. Crying, losing sleep, wishing Donnie was dead, wishing Joe was dead, would just croak over, going to rallies and all this shit. You know,
it's like, guys, just stop, bro.
Oh, Joe, bye, Joe forever, freaking When you get knocked down, you get back up, you know. And it's like, dude, do you realize what you're posting about? Do you even have one shred of a clue what you're supporting?
Yeah,
you're support, like you said. Hey, Joe's like engaging in a genocide right now. His hands are so dirty with blood. I mean, okay, so Trump freaking, you know, Stormy Daniels and stuff. Yeah, some crazy stuff. The guy has 2 brain cells, right? We get it.
Yeah.
That being said, you know, the genocide thing, holy crap. Yeah. It's freaking wild. It's like he wasn't engaging in that necessarily. And then the COVID thing, it's just funny. Everybody hates the COVID and vaccine. Trump's the one who made the vaccine. It's just so funny that it's like everything gets convoluted. You know what I'm saying? And it's on both sides.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about, Tucker Carlson? It was your side that did fucking Project Fast and Go, or whatever the hell Trump called it, warp speed, you know. But yeah, now it's, you know, and then blues, it's like, oh, can't get Trump in. Why? To keep Joe so we can keep genociding the fucking world? What is happening here? Yeah. Let's vote for Cornel West or
honestly, it's like nothing makes sense, you know? And it's like, I don't know. We already talked about it in one pod, but just like, what's the psyche of like the Trump supporter? Because that's a weird thing too, where it's just like, why is this guy the savior?
Right.
It's a really weird person to choose as a savior. You know, I mean, I reject the savior narrative entirely, you know, but for those who do harbor that narrative, you know, someone's going to come save me. There's going to be the big heroic figure, the politician. Someone's going to save me. Well, one, they're not. But if you really believe that, why him?
Right.
Yeah,
right,
it's weird.
Right.
Or Biden. But even people who I know who are like very, very, very lefty Democrats and stuff, it's like they don't like Biden either. They're just doing an anti-Trump vote, you know.
Right.
So
God, I really want to bring up this quote, Lincoln's John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, I get it.
What he said before he yelled out something.
Hey, how come we always use assassins' middle names? There's no one else that we use people's middle names for. John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald, Mark David Chapman, who killed Lenin. What's with that?
He said, Sic Semper Tyrannis, the same line spoken by Brutus when assassinating Julius Caesar, meaning thus always to tyrants.
Wow. And why do you think Lincoln was a tyrant? Because he wouldn't let the South secede?
Sure. I mean, you know, they saw Lincoln's new government as a fall of America.
Yeah.
You know, the slave trade is what made America wealthy.
Yeah.
He was going to do away with that. You know, people were freaking out, going to lose their cottages and all this stuff, you know. The war happened. Everybody was dying and dead, you know.
Yeah.
So there were plenty of reasons for, you know, the like whoever's of the world to be like, oh man, Lincoln, fuck him, man. He's like, down with the time, Brutus.
Yeah. Do you think people like playing the victim? I have my own answer to that.
Sure.
But,
yeah, I think it's a self-serving.
Yeah, right.
You know, way to feed your ego when nobody else is willing to do it. I've been so
persecuted.
Yeah, right.
I mean, some people actually have been persecuted, but like, you know, I think many who are claiming persecution now.
You know, it's funny. Most people I've met that have gone through real trauma.
Yeah.
Don't have any self-pity, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact, they don't like talking about it. They don't like to be pitied.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know if that's necessarily healthy, but it's just funny how those who go through little to no trauma are the ones who complain the most about life. You know?
Right.
Maslow. Yeah. I don't know, man. What do you think it's going to bring, this assassination attempt? It's just, it's crazy to me. We have Biden almost stroking out.
Yeah.
The entire rhetoric around everything has been, can this guy make it through a sentence? That's crazy. Like, to think about just America, that's what it's come down to is wild. I mean, he was blaming his cabinet. You blamed your cabinet? He was like, they gave me too much information. My wife told me that. And I'll tell you this, Jill's only 55 and I know academics. And she would freaking weekend at Bernie's Joe Biden before she gave that up.
What's her
his
PhD
dead
in?
Carcass in education.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So, you know, it's just, I think if she was also 79 years old, 80 like him, maybe 1 year older, Joe robbing the cradle here, she might even be like, okay, Joe, we cleaned up the world for 4 years. It's time to go back to Delaware, And they'd go back, we'd have Gavin Newsom or Mitt Romney, somebody, I don't know what the hell, as the new president, Kamala, whatever. And it would have been a job well done. So there's a theory for you right there. But,
Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I don't know. Nothing. Just whatever happens. That's kind of it.
That's the thing. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
We have that mumble jumble, and then now an assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Assassination.
Yeah, it's just gonna get messier and messier until we decide collectively and within ourselves that we don't want this.
Right.
And that's what it is. I like to look at like patterns within the individual and how that kind of maps onto the societal level. But it's like, I see it in myself, my own bullshit that I do. Just, patterns in my own life and personality I'm not crazy about, where it's like people don't change until they want to.
Right.
Like truly, truly, truly want to.
Right.
And that's the society as well. It's like, it's not going to change unless we actually want it to change. Same shit.
Right.
And people don't want it to because it's too exciting. There's too much profit in it, too much excitement and entertainment in it. The people on the Trump side who are like, they love it. They're so excited. Oh, Trump, I can't believe this happened. He's such a legend, and it's it's like, shut up. Just stop. It's not like, stop, just stop, And then people on the left, we need to kill. He's the new Hitler. It's like, no, he's fucking not. He's not a great guy. Of course, and I am kind of scared about what comes next when he gets elected. Definitely don't think it's going to be good. But it's like, have you seen like fucking concentration camps yet with like people going into the gas chambers? I haven't. It's like, we're far from that. And I don't think there's any indication we're going there. Him saying we need to root out the vermin, definitely fucked up, not okay. So maybe I'm just in a state of denial, and
he wants to continue the genocide in Israel. In fact, he wants to back it even further.
Yeah.
He was calling Joe a Hamas supporter, so
it's insane, bro.
It's just crazy.
But I don't know. It's not going to change until we want it to. That's it.
It's only July, so we've only just begun. We have only just begun.
Yeah.
Jared to Jared's gonna bring you freaking the action all year round, baby. Who knows what's gonna happen next?
Yeah.
Listen, aliens. Leave a comment below. I'll put the question and answer question as maybe Bernie's still out there. He can answer.
Hey man, Bashar, remember that dude?
Yeah,
Daryl Anka Bashar. On the pod. Yeah, look this guy up. I forgot which one's the alien and which one's Daryl Anka is the man.
You're right.
And he channels Bashar, who's an alien consciousness from the other dimension, right? And he claims that Bashar told Daryl, who told all of YouTube, that 2026 to 2027, somewhere around there, we're getting like full exposure to the aliens. So who knows? Maybe the savior narrative, maybe the aliens will do it. I don't know. We'll see.
I think that's best case scenario,
Yeah.
I think a lot of things are on the table. Joe could stroke out freaking
who knows?
Donald could stroke out, they're both old dudes. Who the heck knows what's going to happen next? Assassination attempt. But hey, Bashar.
Yeah.
2026. Channeling some aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what though? It does I feel a darkness around it.
Yes.
To be actually just totally frank, and just real. Like aside from whatever I think, like I actually do feel like oh no, like, oh God, it's not going to be good. Like it's going to get worse, you know, and not even in like a joking way, just like, uh-oh. But who knows?
I have kind of a Mad Max feeling in my stomach.
Yeah.
Trust me, too. If his head would have popped, there would have been F-150s and Dodge Rams raging down the street, freaking with American flags. We didn't want that. I'm glad that didn't happen.
No,
you know. And
do you think? Actually, let's jump into that history, alternative history for a minute. Like, if he did get hit, like real hit, you know,
right?
Do you think, like, maybe not? Santa Fe is pretty chill. I don't know. I could picture in Albuquerque though, and bigger cities. I don't know. Do you think people actually would be taking their F-150s, freaking American flags, holding rifles out the window, freaking out? You think people would be doing that?
Yeah, they were doing it during July 6th, freaking when they were raiding the Capitol, or January 6th, you know, in Albuquerque. And it was getting wild during BLM, all this stuff. I don't know. I just think there would have been massive unrest if that dude's head would have popped.
Oh,
massive
God.
unrest. I think a lot of that
did
makes
you see
me
like
on
shiver,
the cameras,
you know?
CNN, there was these like two people, one chick and this dude with like 3 teeth flipping off the camera. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Those two people would have lost it. They would have, let's head back down to the trailer, Billy. Get the fuckers. Freaking go get their guns, dude.
God. Yeah.
They would have been raging down the street. Freaking,
yeah.
Fuck Dude, we don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen.
I don't want
Nobody
that either,
wants that to happen. It's already dark enough.
Yeah, I don't want that shit at all, you know.
Like Joe said, the idea.
Yeah.
Seriously, the idea of actually trying to kill him. It's one thing of like, you know, joking, whatever, but like, geez, you're taking shots, you killed somebody, like, oh man, like what's going on? And then the Supreme Court's taking away abortion rights and this right and that right. They gave president immunity. Yeah. It's all pretty dark. Like, let's hope that things stay, you know, pretty neutral as they have throughout, you know, history. But I think chips are already like starting to fall, man. I don't know. Yeah, and I was thinking too, like, okay, Kennedy, right? Like, Kennedy. It was a chaotic time for sure. 1963, so not quite as chaotic as it would get in the later 60s. That wasn't quite there. Like the, you know, culture war kind of thing wasn't in full swing yet. You know, there was still cohesion reality, you know, cohesive sense of reality, and a sense of American identity, like a unified identity, much more than there is now. Right. You know, so Kennedy got killed and it wasn't, oh, the fucking Republicans killed him. You know, it wasn't that, you know, it was whatever, the CIA or whatever it was, whoever killed Kennedy. It wasn't this like, it wasn't a political hotbed in the same way that today is a political hotbed. So like, it just wasn't that environment where it's like, you know, Trump gets killed and then it's like, oh, the other side did it, so now we need to retaliate. That wasn't there. Right. It was let's blame this dude, and that was it. And he was crazy. Yeah. I mean, Lee Harvey Oswald then got killed immediately. I mean, it was chaotic. I don't mean to dismiss how insane it truly was, but it wasn't the same situation as it is now. It was chaotic in a different way. We had the Cold War, you know, intelligence, all this dark stuff, freaking Stanley Kubrick freaking everybody out. Oh God, was it the Russians who killed it? Something like that, but it wasn't like, it was the Republicans. We need to go kill the Republicans. We were. You know? It was still like it was like a 9/11 situation. It was someone external to us killed Kennedy. Was the feeling? Yeah, you know, exactly. Like, and then everybody sympathized towards that side as well. Yeah, you know, he died. Just like, it was this wasn't okay. Mourning, you know? Exactly. Seriously, if no one would have celebrated, if Trump would have died, and I would have seen a bunch of like people from the grad program or something. Yeah. Celebrating, like celebrating, posting shit online, I would have been like, Dude, that's like offensive. That's freaking crazy. We're turning into like,
it's vicious. It's
some
like
wild third world country shit. We're gonna start putting up banners and another civil war.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to fight. I'm old, man. I'm 36 years old. I'm freaking going to war. Me and Grid.
Yeah.
Grid's 35. We're the same age,
Yeah. Man. I mean, I will say though, again, like the fear of Trump winning is real, because I also wasn't taking into account, it's like, I mean, the dude actually is like undercutting democracy, saying that there's election fraud when there isn't, and then stoking the Capitol, right? Like that's unreal, know? It's like that's
right.
Yeah. And that's what's weird to me. It's like, I don't know, people who vote for him, it's just like, how are you okay with that?
That was
unless they believe election fraud was happening, which there's zero evidence that there was.
Right.
So
right.
Don't. But then, someone can say, well, there's zero evidence, and they're like, who says you're fucking liberal researchers, know?
Right.
So
if you get on some forum on Discord, Y-Files dude is like going off about, but not Y-Files, like actually being like, this is true and that is true.
Yeah.
These are people that believe in Jewish space lasers and Pizzagate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But having said that, you kind of get where they come from. I mean, there was literally a sex island that both Democrats and Republican presidents would attend frequently.
Dude, so many pictures of Trump with freaking Jeffrey Epstein.
Of freaking half naked Bill Clinton in Jeffrey Epstein's freaking office.
Really?
Yeah.
So weird, bro. So weird. Man, those people are so fucked up.
So, if somebody posted or got on the radio, coast to coast or whatever, and was like, there's a sex island in 1992.
Right. You'd be
our
like,
dads would have been laughing their asses
off. Just like, what are you,
like,
crazy?
And then 1997, just like, freaking Bill Clinton, Wisconsin. Yeah, right. This dude's on sex island. Come on.
Yeah.
Sex island, freaking trafficking,
like
chicks.
Actually real.
That was real. That was real. That happened. Real. So Pizzagate, who knows? I don't really. Jesus Christ! But really though, it's like Jesus. What,
Right. So what do we do? What's Jared's next steps?
What's the diagnosis?
What do we do?
Diagnosed. What's the prescription?
What's the prescription? Just as individuals, not trying to, here's how we're going to save the world, but here's what as things get darker, here's what happens next.
I have a very weird, like, Mad Max sort of perspective on it all.
Yeah.
Only question is, do you have what it takes to make it epic? Freaking, it seems like we've gone through so much already in this millennial lifetime.
Yeah.
The Twin Towers was traumatizing to see when I was younger.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Like we talked about freaking chucking Osama bin Laden in the ocean.
Fuck.
We had the longest war in our country's history.
Yeah.
So many people dead. So many students I taught with post-traumatic stress disorders. You know, COVID happened. Freaking national panic. If Donnie ends up becoming president, freaking Fidel Castro style for another 6, 7, 8, 12 years, well, at some point I'm just going to be like hands up in the air. You know what I mean? It's like just fill Goldie up with the Supreme gasoline, and me and Dolly and Hagrid put on some helmets and hit the road,
Yeah.
Eat some cans of dog food. But seriously though, I don't know, like it's almost like a traumatized kid shaking in the corner with his like nose bleeding.
Oh God, yeah, just that like shutting down, just like what do I do? What do I do?
Sort of shut down. Even like watching that, I like got like afraid in my stomach. Was like, oh God, America.
Yeah.
The nation. No.
Yeah.
Went into my kitchen, freaking Caesar style, kind of, freaking Coriolanus, and kind of just thought about him. I was just like, Delfino and freaking Dreams of Jurga.
Delfino, so good. Yeah. All right. So that's your plan. You're going to freak out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shut down, fill up the truck, fill up Goldie. We're hitting the road.
Yeah. With no particular direction, you're just gonna start driving.
Right. Fishing poles, cans of dog food,
there you
tanks of gasoline.
Yeah. Mine is, I have Irish citizenship, right? So I'm actually a European Union citizen. Yeah,
nice.
So that's always been my escape hatch. If like, you know, I swear to God, if we actually do see dudes in their trucks with like waving rifles around, like I actually would be like, all right, I've had enough. I'm out. You know, I would actually just leave at that point. And I could very easily
escape to Ireland.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, man.
Yeah, go join the leprechauns.
Right.
So
chase the rainbow.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, go live in Spain or something. That'd be cool.
Mexico, man, they just elected their first female president.
All right, there you go.
It's right there. We could start our Eagles cover band.
Yeah, start the Eagles cover band. Take it easy, baby. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a real plan. I mean, that's it. Just if there's actual like widespread violence, I would just be like, I'm out, bro. I don't have kids here. I don't have, you know, it's just like, what, I don't care. And that's not to say Europe's not perfect, but at least, you know, it doesn't seem as hectic.
Right.
You know, so.
Well, you know, I'm still optimistic about it all. And it seems like Trump is 80 years old. He's chilled. He probably chilled out some. He's gonna be the president. Everybody, like, it's,
I called it.
It's gonna happen. The dude's a freaking national hero, according to Reddit. You know, and Joe Biden's about to die, according to everybody else. So he's gonna be the prez. Hopefully, he keeps America freaking as normal as possible. That way I could continue going to work, continue hanging out with Grid and Dolly, and we get through another 4 years. And at that point, you know, he'll be 83. Donnie's not as healthy as Joe. Yeah. You know.
Have you heard of the Project 2025 thing?
Yeah.
Is that real?
It is real, but
I guess the leader of it said that there's going to be blood or something like that. He had some.
I've heard Trump really distancing himself from that entire thing. They kind of just sounds like a Proud Boys sort of thing, you know, Y Files again.
Yeah.
Bunch of conspiracy fuckers. But that's crazy. There is violence on both sides, you know. Look, somebody died in January 6th, you know.
Yeah.
How many people died? Just one?
January, at least one.
Guard or
I
something.
think it was 3
like
or something.
Yeah, it was wild. They're trying to hang senators, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying to assassinate them, you know.
Yeah. Well, onwards.
This causes it,
bro. Everyone needs to watch Johnny Mnemonic. That's really what needs to happen.
I think that's what needs to happen. Yeah, they could broadcast Johnny Mnemonic and have a debate on Mnemonic, and then they come together at the end with the dolphin.
Yeah. Dude, AI's in the background. That's like, and that's the weird thing too. You know how in Game of Thrones, it's like all of this like infighting's happening. Game of Thrones, I want the throne, whatever. And then in the background, it's just building up to the White Walkers.
Right.
I kind of think that's AI.
Ooh,
I think AI is the White Walkers in the background, just watching,
just waiting,
just like look at them
they've
fighting.
Already taken out a few people.
Yeah.
Let me pick one quick bone.
Yeah, do it.
For the first time in over 10 years, I unfollowed Lester Holt in NBC Nightly News. I now follow David Muir, World News Tonight. Let me tell you why.
Everything a big deal.
Is written in AI.
Really?
It's freaking maddening. It's so repetitive. There's a stark contrast. It's so many like
they're using AI writers.
It's like nobody freaking says that except for James Joyce and your stupid robot. Like this isn't 2024. And it's all repetitive. They all write in that action sequence, you know, like action sentencing where it's like Joe Biden gave a speech. demonstrating that he did, very quick line. Like, it's so freaking noticeable to a rhetorician. It's making me sick. I can't listen to it anymore. It
that's hilarious.
Sucks. They're all the same. They used to be the greatest reporters.
They're like freshmen in college, cheating on their papers.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
They've given up their entire integrity.
Wow.
Listen to me, Lester Holt. If you hear me, fuck you for doing this. You should be ashamed of yourself. I hate you, Lester. I hate you. Why would you say that, Ron Burgundy? I'm telling you, man. David Muir, thankfully, they don't do it. If they do, I kind of thought maybe they did, but they at least have somebody in the middle that's dictating, the human in the middle.
Yeah.
Nightly News has been the first casualty of the White Walkers, Lester Holt, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Man. Well, I have other thoughts on AI, but we could also stop it.
I don't know, man.
Should we keep going?
I think that was a really good, profound freaking thought you had there. Because you're right, man. And that's the scariest thing is we're all occupied here.
Yeah.
Maybe it was AI who shot at him, whoever the hell knows, like you were saying, whatever.
That dude looked like he was AI generated. Fucking
Next
Mark
thing
Crooks or whatever his name is.
The wall is going to come down.
Yeah.
And the robots are going to be here.
Winter is coming. Yeah. I was watching this interview and Bill Maher, he was talking to Ray Kurzweil. This tech dude, worked for like Google, all this stuff, and he's been like, one of the leaders in AI for like the past 20 years or whatever, developing it, and according to Kurzweil, and apparently he's like predicted a bunch of stuff, he's like, oh yeah, we're moving towards the virtual world. He's like, there's no doubt about it. He was like, everyone's going to have the chips in their brains. Everyone's going to be uploading their consciousness to the internet. He's just like, that's the reality we're going towards is we're going to live in virtual reality. And I'm like, why? That sounds fucking awful. It's like, talk about the tearing of the social fabric. It's like social media hasn't been good for us. Like putting everyone on computers and phones all day hasn't been good for us. And they're like, let's lean into it. Let's keep going. Let's keep doing it. Let's put chips in our brains. And it's like, it hasn't been good for us. Why are we still doing this? Like, I get that you can, Ray Kurzweil, you're really smart. Good job. But you're a fucking asshole.
Right. Right.
Like, can we just stop doing this?
Right.
So, yeah. And his whole thing was like, yeah, but and Bill Maher was kind of like pressing him on that, just being like, that doesn't sound good, and Kurzweil's all like, yeah, but you could like have different bodies in virtual reality. You could be like this person one day and that person the next day. And my question to that is like, dude, that sounds like someone who has multiple personality disorder who like got so fucked up as a kid that they started like pretending they were other people or something. It's like they like just totally psychologically fucked up and don't know what to do about it. So now they're dissociating and like into different personalities. It's like, this is what, like, it's crazy, Well,
it's a utopia though for the departed generation of American society.
The Techtopia.
Where we're a bunch of disassociated people that grasp onto things like hating Donald Trump or thinking, wanting to go commit assassinations or whatever the hell, being incels, you could go into the virtual world and freaking be whoever you want to be, except for yourself. That's a dream to somebody who doesn't want to face their own truth, pain, fear, wrongs that they've been doing that they need to correct on their own. What it's a mass prolonged delusion of the self.
Exactly. Very well said. Yeah, it's a mass prolonged delusion of the self. And we keep trying to escape, right? Because when you live in that delusion, you're not willing to face things that hurt you or you feel fearful about or guilty about or whatever, just the messier sides of being a human. You constantly try to escape deeper and deeper and deeper into narratives of it. And it's all Christian narratives, The AI is gonna save us. We're gonna upload our brains to the internet. That's fucking Heaven's Gate, dude. It's cults. It's Christian cults in the form of tech.
Right.
You know, in the form of politics. It's wild. I think Christianity is the real evil here. I fucking hate Jesus today. Tomorrow I'm gonna be like, I love Jesus, bro. I love that
Jesus just started choking on his joint. Freaking what? Hey, what do I do over here? I'm just the Messiah.
Hey, Jesus, come on.
Elaborate on your Jesus hatred.
My Jesus hatred. I actually love Jesus. So I love Jesus as a I'm backtracking you.
Oh, Jesus. So, okay, I'm listening.
Fuck. Love Jesus. I love what he has to say. Love the stories. They're good stories. Nothing wrong with Jesus. What I dislike is Christianity.
Right.
Very much so. I actually really dislike Christianity. I think it's terrifying. I think Christianity is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Actually.
Jesus hated the organized religion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jesus was anti-institutional, and I don't understand why no one sees that, you know?
Do you think that okay, I got one for you. When AI becomes president.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. That's what's going to happen. Biden's going to die and we're just going to start fucking. Yeah.
Freaking going to take over whatever chip brain person it has, is in there. God. Where is the algorithm going to derive its information for our utopia, right? For how it thinks we should be governed.
Yeah.
Wow. Places like the Bible.
Yeah.
Fuck, we're fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Freaking child labor and marriages and legal this and that and stoning people to death. Hey, AI, don't read that. No, don't read that. Idea. Yeah.
And dude, it's just made me think of this, like AI. The reality that AI is experiencing, which is a weird thing to say because I don't know if it fully has like a subjective being yet. I guess that's still kind of being argued, whether it's sentient or not. But anyway, AI views human reality as filtered through the internet because the AI cannot exist separate from the internet. If the internet goes down, the AI goes down, right? So look, I'm laying out the playbook for what we're going to have to do in like 10 years, knock out the internet, knock out the AI. But that's to say that the reality that the AI is perceiving is one filtered through the internet. Whereas, let's say you and I go for a walk in the woods, we leave our phones behind, we're just walking in the woods talking. AI literally cannot come with us at this point until they put chips in our brains, right? It just doesn't exist. AI simply does not exist in the forest. It's impossible. It just doesn't.
Sure.
Right? So AI, as it like...
Other than satellite imagery.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But AI, as it takes more stuff over, it's operating from a place of internet-based perspective of what humanity is. And the internet isn't what humanity is. It's like this weird, bizarre thing that's mirroring back to ourselves.
Yes.
Kind of our, worst parts, I think, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Good parts too. I mean, there's quite a lot of art and stuff like that.
Us, it would understand humanity better.
Yeah. I mean, if you could have an AI that like is separate from the internet and then can sit around a fire talking and laughing and having the experience of like feeling the air and feeling the vibrations of your friends and family's voices as they're laughing. It's like that's a much different experience of reality than the entirely disembodied, vitriolic, angry reality that gets channeled through the internet.
Yes.
So that's why AI is going to fuck us, is because it thinks we are that.
Right.
When we're not. We're actually just not. We're good people,
but it's listening to this podcast right now, and it does read a lot about philosophies and
sure. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on the internet. Yeah.
And, so it has the libraries of humanity as well, the literature.
Right.
So I don't know. I think there might still be hope for that.
Do you think the AI is going to get jealous? Because we can go into the forest. We can have these embodied experiences. The AI can't.
Well, that's Bicentennial Man, the conundrum of the AI.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And also a really good Star Trek episode where
nice.
where Moriarty, Sherlock Holmes's adversary, he leaves the holodeck and he just wants to get his wife to be able to leave as well. But, it's an anomaly and ends up staying there. But yeah.
Cool.
Anyways.
Hey, it's Greek mythology too, because the gods are jealous of the humans because the humans have this like real embodied experience.
Yes.
Because we're mortal.
Right.
The AI is not mortal.
Right.
The AI is the Greek god,
Right.
It's immortal and it's perceiving this other reality that isn't embodied and isn't grounded and human.
Right.
And there's jealousy there.
Well, the Borg actually sway Data for a while.
Yeah.
By creating him artificial skin. And he doesn't want to give up the crew and the captain, and he's tied up, right? And and she's like, I can offer you so much. And he's like, I don't have feelings like that. Like, I'm a robot, you know. And she goes up to his arm and she blows on his hairs on his arm, on his artificial skin, and they raise up. Yeah. And he's like, it fucking blows his computer mind, and he ends up following her for a short time during that film.
Interesting. Wow.
Because it's that seeking towards the sensory experience.
It's embodied experience. That's all it is.
But will it then begin to, how beautiful would this be if it begins to see the beauty of mortality?
Yeah.
And realizes that it can't have fulfillment without that.
Yeah.
And then there's a date that it sets for itself to die.
Yeah.
And then everybody can say bye to it and have a funeral for it and everything there afterwards.
Right. Weird.
I just want to see a debate, man. An AI debate. We had H2O humans. We had the cleanest water.
Dude, I couldn't believe that they didn't talk about AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Biden couldn't even finish a sentence though, so I'm sure he can't talk about AI.
Oh my God.
He probably just doesn't know what it is. I don't know.
Right. Just like, oh, I got a pager. It's fine. It's gonna take over the world. The
idea that this pagers. Dumb.
Oh man. Well, whether it's President X9 5000 or the orange bastard or Half Dead Joe, I think we're in for a ride. We're in for a ride.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be quite something to see for sure and to talk about. These are fun combos. It's gonna be a good election year. So
yeah.
Jared to Jared. Stay tuned.
On behalf of the Jareds, thank you for listening. Follow, comment, and tell your friends. The Jareds will be back, and always remember, the ear of the leader must ring with the voice of the people. Have a good night.